Let's go to the next. Go ahead.
Thank you. Can I move on to North Korea?
Sure, I think that's absolutely fine.
Right, thank you very much. As you know, North Korea and South Korea agreed to hold a family reunion this month. I think probably from between 20th to 25th. You have some read out.
Well, we certainly welcome the decision by South Korea and North Korea to set a date for family reunions. As you know, we support improved inter-Korean relations, and that this is certainly an example of that. We would refer you to the South Korean government for any more information on this and the specifics of how they will take place.
Do you think it's an these movement? You think it's an optimistic movement, even though the joint military exercise is going to start at the end of this month?
Well, we certainly welcome the decision. DoD, of course, oversees any of the joint military exercises. That's something that happens. These annual training events happen on a, annual basis, obviously, since they're annual training events. And they're designed to increase our readiness to defend South Korea once a year, protect the region and maintain stability on the Korean Peninsula. But I would point you to the Department of Defense for any more specifics about that.
One other thing.
Sure.
The North has been arguing for the South to call off those exercises. They've done that many times in the past also. You have no intention of doing that, do you?
I don't. Of course, I would refer to my colleagues over at the Defense Department. But again, these exercises occur around the same time every year and are a clear demonstration of the U.S. commitment to the alliance. So I don't have any predictions for you. And
You're not aware of any plans?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Could I just stay in the region
Sure,
as well?
of course.
There was a report, I think I asked you about this earlier this week, there was a report that the Secretary is planning to visit South Korea, and yesterday on his newly launched Twitter account...
Are you following him, Joe?
I am.
All right.
He announced, well, we're obviously going to get news from him, because he announced that he's going to go to Asia. So, and the theme of the visit is going to be...
To be fair, he did say that last weekend as well.
He said he was going to China last weekend. So
that's in Asia.
That is
Go
in
ahead,
Asia,
I'll let you
but
ask your question.
It was a slightly broader trip. And also he said that the theme of the trip was going to be climate change, and I wondered if you had any more indications on that for us.
Sure. Well, obviously the planning is ongoing. You all know what an important issue, not just addressing climate change in the United States, but around the globe is to the Secretary. He gave a speech in India last year about this issue. So I don't have any more details to lay out for you. I expect as we get closer to the trip, we will have that. But again, as he said in the past, in order to address global climate change, we need to have the largest contributors and emitters, including the United States, including China, take steps to address. So I expect he will certainly talk about that while he's there.
How much of the trip? I think he said that it would be a big theme. How much of the trip is going to be focused on the issues in the South China Sea and the East Sea? And Danny Russell talked about this again yesterday.
Yeah, he just testified on, and he's testifying today, this afternoon.
Right. How much of a theme is that going to be of this particular trip?
Well, I'm certain that maritime security issues will be, of course, a part of the discussion, as they always are. But there are also other issues in addition to climate change. There's the threat of North Korea and the steps that he feels, we all feel, are necessary to take. There's ongoing cooperation on economic issues, security issues. So, of course, a range of issues will be discussed, but certainly that will be on the agenda.
And you said you haven't got any further details, but can you tell us whether this trip is imminent, or is it going to be like next week, or the week after, or next month, or...?
We're not leaving tomorrow. We're still working on the final details of where the Secretary will be traveling, and so I expect we'll have a note on that in the coming days.
One more thing about joint military exercise. As you know, the B-55 and B-2 bombers and U.S. aircraft carrier also joined last year. Do you know about what the condition is this year? B-55, B-2 is going to join this exercise this year?
I would point you to my defense colleagues for that level of specificity. Do we have any